As we look at the technical study for clarinet at the middle school level, it's fairly straightforward. It's in the key of D minor, so there's a couple grammatical things that you want to make sure that you're taking care of. Look out especially for C sharps. Anytime we play in a minor key, we always have to make sure that we're on alert for accidentals, and particularly accidentals that carry through measures. So as we look at this, we see lots and lots of C sharps popping up. Make sure that you are understanding that the accidental carries all the way through the measure. So what I mean by that is, if you look at measure 2, for instance, you have a C sharp on the downbeat of beat 2. But that C sharp also carries through to the very last note of the measure. The same thing is true with, for instance, the G sharps as you get into measure 6, the C sharps again in measures 5 and 7. So make sure before you go to put the clarinet in the mouth and play that you're taking care of some of the common note problems that happen when we play in minor keys, which are carrying accidentals through the measure. So there are two big things that I could recommend that are going to help you in this etude. The first one is obviously observing the different articulations that are present. They seem to change every measure. So for instance, measure 1, you have slur 2, tongue 1, and in measure 2, you have tongue 1 and slur 2, sort of the reverse. So you want to make sure that you're observing that and being accurate about that. But in order to make it really clear, what I would suggest is adopting a strategy called clipping the slur. So what that means is the note at the end of the slur, I'm going to end slightly early by putting my tongue on the reed to make sure that there's enough space at the front side of the staccato note that it speaks clearly. So rather than just playing I'm going to exaggerate the articulations a bit by shortening the slur ever so slightly by putting my tongue on the reed. And if you can do that, that's really going to make your articulation crisp, light, and obviously accurate to somebody who's listening to you. The last thing that I would mention that I think makes this etude difficult is that when there's nowhere to breathe. So we have to sort of make a spot. Either we have to sort of be a hero and try to play the whole thing in one breath, which is difficult at their recommended tempo. It's just a little bit too slow to do that comfortably, although if you can, great, go for it. But what I would recommend instead is breathing after the first note in measure 9. This is what you'll hear me do in the recording. I think it's quite feasible to play this with a nice fresh breath at the beginning and a quick one at measure 9 to sort of fill up so that you're not uncomfortable or having to squeeze or feeling like your lungs are turning to prunes as you're getting to the end of the etude. If you can breathe after the first note of measure 9, after the G, that's a great spot to do it musically. It's also a great spot to do it technically on the clarinet because it helps you facilitate that big leap from the open G to the B flat. So I hope that you take these strategies and make them a part of your own preparation. Please listen to the recording and let me know if you have questions. Good luck.